Hey, what's up guys and girls? Welcome back again to my Dark Souls Absolute Beginner's Guide. This time we're going to talk about how not to give up on Dark Souls. I suppose you could describe it as the philosophy of Souls, or as I personally like to phrase it, it's okay to die. Now I think it's pretty common and totally understandable for people to feel disheartened when they die a lot in a game, when they lose, when they see that game over screen. And I certainly felt like that during those opening hours of Demon Souls. But I think it's important to try and let go of that kind of thinking when you're approaching Dark Souls. Your mindset has to be in the right place, or you're just going to give up on it. And there it is, the ubiquitous game over screen of Dark Souls. But I think it's important to remember, you're not a failure because you've died. You've only just started learning the game. You can't expect to get it all right first time. I mean, it's not like I could just pick up a guitar and immediately make music, despite the fact that I already have experience with other instruments. If you want to enjoy Dark Souls, you have to be ready to put in a bit of effort, not only to learn the game, but to accept your mistakes and use that experience to do better next time. So when you see this message, it's important to reflect on what's just happened. Maybe you got surrounded by enemies and overwhelmed, or in the middle of a heated moment, you didn't spot a pressure plate that was on the floor and you stood on it and got killed by a trap. So this message is not a judgment, it's an observation. It's trying to say to you, you need to watch out for things like that, man. So just try something a bit different next time. Don't just do the same thing over and over.
You never give up, do you? I don't know how you do it.
Now, there are loads of tools available to you in Dark Souls to help you piece together solutions to the game's many problems and obstacles. Now, I don't want to spell any of these out to you, really, because it's so satisfying discovering them by yourself. But thinking about those two examples, about getting overwhelmed, you've got consumable items you could use to maybe lure enemies out. You can use the geography to narrow their approach and make it easier to fight them. And as for stepping on a trap, you just need to keep an eye on the environment. It is full of danger. And in fact, all of the tricks and traps the game presents to you can be spotted ahead of time if you're careful. And even though you may not yet know how these tools within the game work, you already have access to the most important tool you'll need. Don't be fooled by the game's RPG aspects. Putting a few extra points into your stats is never going to be the reason that you finally beat a tough boss or finally get through an area you've been struggling with. Leveling up here is what counts.
Thank you for hearing me out. Now I can die with hope in my heart.
The most important skills you need when playing Dark Souls are observation and decision making. This is why the game's pace is relatively slow. It's to give you time to look at the screen, to let you watch the enemy movement, to read the telegraphed attacks, to pick out which of the enemies is the biggest threat, and to also give you time to take in the environment, keep an eye out for pitfalls and for traps. And then you can use that information to quickly decide how you're going to overcome a situation. Before you know it, this kind of thinking will become automatic for you, and the more you do it, the quicker it'll get. Then you start spotting ambushes before they can jump on you, start seeing traps and figuring out how to use them against the enemies. And that is like, oh, I'm a boss! So good. And then the further you go through the game, it will start combining these obstacles and challenges you've already tackled in new configurations with new bits thrown in, and you'll die more. But instead of getting disheartened, you'll actually relish the chance to figure out a new solution. And that's why I want to keep this guide as spoiler-free as possible. Like, I really don't want to deny you the satisfaction of figuring out your own solutions to the adventure's challenges.
Next time, give me a chance to come up with a plan.
So there we go. Try not to let those deaths get to you. Just pick yourself up, Dust yourself off. Try something different, guys. You can do it! Thank you all so much for watching. I had some really nice comments about the first episode, so thank you all for your support. Please like, subscribe, share, all of those good things, especially if you know somebody who you think would benefit from this kind of guide for Dark Souls. Next time, we're going to talk about starting the game and covering the absolute basics of how the game works. Praise that sun, baby. I'll catch you next time.